It's an absolute privilege and an honor to share and talk about the importance of imagining America for engaged scholarly pursuits in design and the humanities at this very special occasion, at this very special conference. As a doctoral candidate in architecture at the University of Michigan, I write and teach about the civic impulse among architectural modernism's wider traditions. In particular, the way a select group of architects associated with those traditions instituted projects with reference to public participation and democracy in North America and in Europe in the late 20th century. As a Public Humanities Fellow with Rackham's Arts of Citizenship, I work on expanding this focus by co-coordinating a range of engaged learning opportunities and sites in support of a similar impulse. The impulse among students and faculty to institute socially relevant projects in public and with distinct publics. In both roles, I delineate a process, my experiences with how collective imaginations make change possible. How strong relationships emerging from contextual vulnerabilities and individual capacities transform environments. But also how challenging, slow, and at times unclear this process can be if pursued exclusively. Imagining America not only recognizes this, but it celebrates this. The many writings and products of this consortium inform the core of our work at Arts of Citizenship, as well as the broader stakes of my doctoral project. When I applied to the Imagining America's publicly active graduate education Page Fellowship Program this year, I wanted to concretely interconnect these contexts and embed my curricular and co-curricular undertakings within a national network of similarly motivated, peer-led activities. I also wanted to broaden my education around the question of ethics. What is our ethical imperative as engaged scholars, practitioners, and pedagogues? How do we simultaneously highlight lives outside the frame of daily reference and create spaces of response for shared interdisciplinary reflection? And how might we co-develop impactful frameworks for research and for design that connect what kind of environment we want to what kind of values we desire? Here I draw upon critical geographer David Harvey's argument regarding the right to the city, which calls to attention our collective right to reflect on the roles and forms of participation needed for more equal and for more just cities. Here I also draw upon Tim Eatman's call for engaged scholarship across faculty roles, where he asks us to reflect on our collective mission as knowledge makers beyond the dichotomy of traditional and community-based research. For me, the key sentiment here is relationships. Relationships with the place where we locate our classrooms, conduct research, and install creative projects. Relationships with people with whom we work, including our many hyphenated communities and institutions of support. And relationships with practices, both symbolic and everyday, through which we identify a shared purpose, as well as those that we may critique in order to advance change. I want to thank Tim Eatman and Scott Peters for their incredible leadership in strengthening and sustaining these relationships with and through an active body of kindred spirits and minds from around the country and beyond. There are deep structural issues in higher education and in our cities that we must address both collectively and creatively. Imagining America is at the forefront of this extraordinary conversation on democracy and change. And I'm excited to join hands with you to extend this mission in useful directions for our shared futures. Congratulations, Tim and Scott. Very well deserved.